Good morning, everyone. We've decided to come check the hyena den, and this is the most animals we've seen at the den. We've got at least 5 adults that we can see, plus the 3 cubs came out. There's actually a hyena is walked up, is so close to our bonnet we can't even see it at the moment. Which is quite interesting because it does give us a much better idea of the makeups of this clan, and they've fed well, and you can see there's some fat bellies around us. And as Scott was saying, what Scott was saying last night is that it's unlikely that the female that we've been seeing most regularly at the den feeding on the older cub, which the older cub's been suckling on, is the only mother here. She's off to our right. She's actually heading towards the den now. And there's her youngster actually coming to greet her, Alex, in front of us. So there we go. And you can see she's got very distinct ears. Here we go. Hi, Ma. It looks like he's more interested in playing, and with the amount of adults that are here at the moment, you can see it's far braver, coming further out than it normally does. Sorry guys, I'm just in the way there a bit. So it's very interesting to have this many hyenas here. And you can see a bit of submission being shown. There's a very big female coming in here. Okay, you can see that female is quite dominant. Just the way she's behaving. Oh, we're getting a visitor right next to the car. And I'll make sure he doesn't. They like to steal the little rubber caps off your tires. Hyena cubs, when they get a little bit braver. So it's really nice to actually have a look at how many animals are here. Okay, guys, Scott's got visual of Mvula again, so we're going to cross back to Scott. But we'll stay here with the hyenas, and if anything really interesting starts happening here, we'll cut back across.
Welcome back, isn't this a great way to spend the morning between hyena den site that sounds really active and this beautiful big male leopard. We've got off to a cracking start, and I'm really happy to hear that there are quite a few adults at the hyena den site, because that does what is going to help us solve the mystery as to who the adults are of the certain cubs. And it'll be great to chat with Brent after the drive to hear what he thinks, but for you guys, you get to hear what he thinks right now live, and I'm sure we will cut back to him shortly. And we're just going to probably take turns between the leopard and the hyena, because there is good action there with the hyena, and it will take us a few moments to keep looping ahead and getting good views of this leopard. So we will keep ping-ponging between the hyena and the leopard. So for now, probably back to Brent until we get ahead of the leopard again.
Hi guys, welcome back. We've got quite a lot of action going on around us. So that slightly older cub is definitely a lot braver with all the adults around. I mean, venturing quite far from the den. Alex, just head to in front of us. No, don't worry, it's over. That looks like a male. So it's taking this opportunity to explore quite extensively around. Okay, so we've got 2 adults there. 3, 4, 5, actually 6 adults. I've missed an adult sleeping under a bush. You can see that the younger ones are also starting to become a bit braver. It'd be quite interesting to see whether one of these animals feeds those two, because even though we haven't seen them suckling, they are looking in very good condition. So it's not like they're not being fed, they're just obviously being fed at a time when we're not here. So there's quite a bit of greeting going on behind us. You can see some tails up. I'm just going to try to reposition the vehicle quickly. Oh no, I don't want to move little guy's on his way back through here, so we don't want to give him a fright by starting the car while he's still exploring. Hey little man, or little girl. It's like, ooh, that thing looks like fun. I wonder what I can bite on that. As you can see, he's pasting, using his anal gland to mark the grass. It's one of the most important forms of smell communication with hyenas. They'll use that method to mark their boundaries and territories. And so other hyenas coming into the area will also know that this is this clan's territory. There's a lot of movement going on around us at the moment, so I don't want to move the vehicle. And one of the adults is moving off into the bush behind us, just to let you know. I mean, all of them, even sort of smaller, possibly male in front of us here, have quite full bellies, so they must have eaten quite well last night. And the bigger hyenas have got fat tummies. You can see how that, even though that's a much bigger individual, it is showing submission towards the youngster. Okay guys, we're going to cut across to Scott. We're going to cut across to Scott. He's got some interesting stuff happening on the other side, and we'll still be here with the hyenas when you get back. Enjoy it.
turn back, and as you can see, Mvula is making his way straight towards us, and we're in for another great view as he does move through this vegetation towards us. It's been quite thick, so difficult for us to loop ahead of him. But at the moment, he's coming straight towards us, so we're very fortunate in his movements this morning. He's also started tending more south than east, which allows us to stay with him. If he had have continued east at the speed he was heading in, he would have crossed out of our property. But because he has veered more to the south, we're allowed these great views of him. Okay. It's just got very thick, and it might be worth cutting back to Brent now while we get into position again, and then we will call Andrew in the final control as soon as we've got a better spot to view him from.
It's licking it. Let's come into these two quickly, Alex. Welcome back, guys. We're still here with the hyenas. So it looked like one of the dominant females. She urinated there, and now you can see definitely small individuals, not as dominant. Difficult to say whether male or female. They're now smelling, licking, and she came and peed on top of where one of these two peed. So it's very much a sign of dominance. Okay, guys, we're gonna quickly cut across to Scott, and then we'll be back here just now.
Right, sorry. Welcome back, folks, and we've just realised that we are crossing over onto our eastern boundary. So I'm just going to loop ahead of him one last time and give you one last visual of him on the move. Hopefully he will be walking towards us anytime soon. So sadly, it will be the end of the sighting, but what a sighting it's been. Well, now he's changed direction again ever so slightly and is heading north. Seems to be trotting. Not sure why. You may know of some potential prey, or may have heard something up there. This is the view I think we've been hoping for now.
Great for yours.
I'm not sure what he's interested in here, but obviously you can see he's trotting ahead, and Brian's doing a great job staying with him through this thick bush. There is something ahead here that's intriguing him. And I'm not sure what it is. We'll be able to spend a few more moments with them. Sadly, folks, he's just gone too far.
Sorry, guys. Thanks, Ed.
Okay, well, what What a sighting that was, and I hope you all enjoyed it. It's a pity we can't stay with them, but it is just the way it is out here, and there are certain areas we can go and there are certain areas where we can't go, and this is one of the areas, sadly, where we can't go, but so fortunate to have been able to get such great glimpses of them this morning, with the perfect sunlight on them, on the move, and we'll leave Craig to it. It'll be interesting to hear where he ends up and if he has any luck this morning, and we'll be sure to find that out from Craig. But in the meantime, I think we can head back to Brent at the Hyena Den site. It sounds really exciting there, and we will head off to Buffalo's Hook Dam, myself and Brian, and see what's happening over there.
Oh, welcome back. You can see this. See that anal gland come out there and the pasting going on. That looks like quite a dominant animal that pasted. Now, one of the others pasting. The amount of pasting that's going on at the moment, it could be that some of these animals haven't visited the den in quite a long time. Unfortunately, that little one is actually too close to us to actually see him. We can't see him. He's under our bonnet somewhere. So you can see the adult there, and the young one is actually between those adults and the front of the vehicle. Good morning, Shanae. Welcome on Drive with us this morning. Shanae is asking what age the youngsters will change colour. Normally between 3 and 4 months, but it can vary on individuals. But normally around 4 months they are showing quite distinct colour. What I'm going to do now, I brought my bit of playing going on. I brought my mammal Bible with me this morning, just in case we did this, so I can actually show you what hyena dentition looks like, which is always quite interesting. Let me just find the hyenas quickly. Family carnivore hyena day 3:45. We'll keep looking at the hyenas while they're busy, and then we will have a look at the dentition a little later. But it is really amazing to see how many hyenas are here. This is definitely the most hyenas I've seen at this den since I've been here. Wow, just my mammal Bible, just having a quick look next to the picture of the skulls, and I just read here that it says there have been up to 80 hyena recorded at a single dead site in Tanzania. Obviously that's got a lot to do with the migration, so there's a lot of food and whatnot in the Serengeti and Mara systems. running to mom. Now what's been shown there is quite interesting. It's possible that those two smaller animals we thought were males could be young females from a higher ranking female, just the way they're behaving with that little one. Oh, excuse me. Try to creep back to the thorn bush. Oh, whoops, caught in the thorn bush. And those two are having, good games. Now, on opening the mouth there, they're probably almost adults, but not quite. They're still a little bit young. And just the way they're behaving, they must be high-ranking individuals. Two of the adults, including the mother, have moved off and are walking away from the den. And they've actually crossed the little drainage line near the den. So they are probably about 50 meters from us at the moment. So they could be just going to sleep nearby, or they could be heading a little bit further. Oh, another one of the little ones has come to join, the younger ones. See, even the tiny ones are getting braver. More brave. Oh, my English is leaving a little bit to be desired this morning. Buff. Remember, guys, if you have any questions, please. There we go, we've got a question. Good morning, Amanda from Alabama. Amanda is asking about that elephant cow we saw yesterday that had that very distinct wound that we saw, and what we've pretty much worked out that it's a prolapsed uterus. So basically, in the easiest terms, is that the uterus is sort of almost folded in on itself or gone inside out and is pushing to come out of the body, and this can be caused by difficult births or infections in the urinary canal or in the bladder. morning, Janet. Welcome on Drive. Janet would like to know, are adult male hyenas typically smaller than the females? Yes, Janet, they are. Sometimes up to sort of 30 kilograms smaller from a really extreme cases. Hyenas are the only truly matriarchal society that we see, where the female, there's no sort of doubt that the females are bigger, stronger, and by far the boss. I mean, even the lowest ranking female in a clan is higher ranking than the highest ranking male. Good morning. Good morning, Georgina from Illinois. Georgina is saying that the sub-adult is called Ndapandula. Georgina, I'm not actually sure on that. I've looked at the photos from when he was seen in December, and there's no indication that this is that it's the same animal. And as far as what my understanding from Scott and Mark is, that Ndapandula was a male, and these sub-adults in front of us, just from their behavior, are almost certainly female, and from a high-ranking individual. And the female, I mean, we've got four adult females here. I'm not sure which female you're talking about exactly. So there's one of the adult females. Alex is just going to pan across. There's a second adult, sorry, there's two adult females behind us, and then a third and fourth have actually crossed across the drainage line. So it's very difficult for me to know which exact hyena you were talking about. Right, so let's go back to the interaction between the young adults and the cubs. They're still playing quite nicely. Good morning, Anne from Washington. Anne is asking what would happen if one of the bigger cubs killed one of the smaller cubs. I think it would be very unlikely that it would ever sort of get to that sort of level of play. As you can see, even though they are quite rough, they're still gentle with the youngsters. And you can see a fat belly on that hyena coming in there. Bit of cackling coming from underground. My guy's very interested in everything that's going on. And they're the two younger ones just popping their heads out. I'll check now, sorry my game drive channel was turned on. Copy, thanks. And you can see as it heats up, the activity is dying down a little bit. Good morning, Georgie from Australia. Georgie would like to know if there are brown hyenas in the Sabi Sands, and do they have the same clan makeup as spotted hyenas? Georgie, it is possible that there are brown hyena in the Sabi Sands. They have been recorded in the past, but because of the high spotted hyena density, there are not going to be too many of them. They prefer drier areas with very little water, and that is an adaptation to be able to compete and sort of fill an ecological niche where the spotted hyenas can't be, because they are very dependent on water. And the clan makeup is a little bit different. They do have communal dens, but they are not as generally as social as the spotted hyenas. And also, what happened is that a lot of the mating was sort of observed to be done by nomadic males that move through the area. So the males, there's argument going on behind us. We can't move, otherwise we'll disturb whatever's going on, because they're literally just behind the vehicle. So, unlike spotted hyenas, where the males are part of the clan, brown hyenas, it seems to be that the males are nomadic and move through, and then the females form clans. Lots of action. Oh, it looks like that was one of the hyenas that left earlier, and that's looks like the mother of this cub in front of us. Very distinct with those very torn ears. Okay, thanks Jane is saying that Peter thought Ndapundula might be a female based on her behavior. And Peter's, sorry, what was the second name there? That she has a distinct 7. And then from Georgina says there's a 7 pattern on the right hand side. Well, the one that we're on focus on now doesn't seem to have a 7 pattern on the right hand side. And to turn there, there's another hyena coming out of the den, so that makes 10 so far this morning. And back down. Good morning, Jeannie from Washington. Jeannie said we've learned that a leopard will go up a tree when hyenas arrive. What will a lion do? It depends on the lion and how many lions. If there's a single lioness and a group of hyenas, that lioness will probably run away. But they will fight with hyenas, try to chase them off if the hyenas sort of attack them at a kill. And also it depends on the number of hyenas versus the number of lions. But there's a very simple rule with that. As soon as there's a male lion present, the hyenas sort of move away. They don't like fighting with male lions. Good morning, Sandra. Welcome on Drive with us this morning. The cubs, while they're this age, will very seldom drink water. They will drink milk from their mothers, and that's where they get their sustenance. And hyenas, spotted hyena cubs will eat very little meat till about 6 or 7 months, and still up to that stage, the majority of their sustenance and nutrients will be from drinking mother's milk. It's only after they sort of become mobile and start moving out on foraging expeditions with the adults will they start drinking water. But hyenas could probably go 2 or 3 days, maybe even a bit longer if they need be without water. Also depending on what they've been eating, because they do get a lot of the moisture that they need if they have a fresh kill from the blood. Rebecca Zoe's Nisikaya is active. So there we can see, I'm sorry, smelling pastes. There we go. Now let's have a careful look at this. Hyena's jumped up now. She turns around. We need to see the right side. Let's maybe check if that's Ndapundula. Morning, Lenny from Arizona. Lenny would like to know what is the ratio of males to females. I'm not 100% sure. That's a good thing I got the Mammal Bible with me today, and I'm going to double check. Good morning, One Wolf from FC. One Wolf would like to know whether all the hyenas would sit inside this den at the same time. Most definitely not. There would definitely not be enough space. There's probably very little space in there for the cubs plus possibly one adult at a time. Although there can be quite big chambers in that, if one hyena is lying in the entrance, it sort of blocks the whole entrance for the others. Good morning, Casey. Welcome on Game Drive with us this morning. Casey would like to know, why do hyenas' heads always seem to hang so low? Probably because they use their sense of smell quite frequently. So their heads will hang lower to the ground so they can smell what's going on.